Hello, and welcome to Vitruvius. Our Vitruvius engineer, Brian DeMeza, will be giving you an in-depth walkthrough with some helpful information to get you started.
Okay, let's open up our isolated footing module. We can select that over here in the grid drop-down. So the isolated footing comes loaded as a 2x2 footing with a 4-inch concrete column. As with all our design modules, we have our properties on the left, the loading diagram in the middle, a diagram on the right, and our adequacy and loads down at the bottom. Now for this footing, we don't have any spans, so nothing's going to pop up here. We have a split screen view here where we have the section cut on the left and a plan view on the right. First things first, if we go through the properties, we can start at the top. We can select a round footing or a rectangular/square footing. If we select round, we'll see that change occur over in the plan view. So let's go back to a rectangular footing. For the footing properties, we have the steel yield strength. So we can choose between 40 or 60, or we could input our own. We have the concrete compressive strength, the soil bearing pressure, the reinforcement cover, the reinforcement bar size, and the concrete density. The isolated footing section shows a template, a column type drop-down, the column width, length, and offset, as well as the footing depth, width, and length. There's a checkbox for plain concrete if we do not want to include any reinforcing in the design. If we change the column type to steel, we are presented with the base plate dimensions, so we can add that in there. If we change it to masonry, wood, or other, we're just presented with a different column type. But if we change to pedestal, we see that we have now the pedestal height, width, length, and density. So we can change these and now we see the column on top of the pedestal on top of the footing. So now for the soil properties, we have a checkbox to include the soil weight in bearing calculations, the soil depth above footing, the soil density, the soil cohesion, and the friction angle of the soil. We can input any of these properties here. And for the last section, we have a rebar section, which allows you to check and override the automatic rebar calculations. So you can check this and enter the number of bars in both directions. And that's it for the properties. We can add a point load. We can add a lateral load or a horizontal load, which is locked to the y-axis, shown here. Or we can add an overturning moment, or we can add a linked load. So every time we add these, they'll show up in our loads tab down here. So we've got point, horizontal, and moment. Let's take off these. Let's leave our point load of 2,000 pounds acting in the Z direction in the live load case. So let's go up here and hit calculate. Once we do that, we can see our load adequacies populate on the bottom toolbar, and we can see that they all pass because they're all green. Our minimum design requirements have been met because there's no red X's here, and that's really it. We can save it and then click a print preview. We can go through the report here. We see we've got our pass and we have our material properties, as well as some code requirement notes. So the footings are extremely simple. Go through, set your properties, add your loads, and click calculate. Check our other walkthroughs for more information on the other design modules.
We hope this information was useful to you. The Vitruvius team is standing by to assist you directly via email, phone, or even a remote session. Thank you. We appreciate you being a part of the Vitruvius project.